Hello guys, in this video I'm gonna show you how you can work with color correction in Photoshop. Let's start. Okay guys, in this video I'm gonna show you a picture in different situations with different light, picture inside, indoor or outside. Alright, let's start. First, I'm here in Adobe Bridge and I'm gonna double click on this picture and automatically I'm gonna open in Photoshop. First, there are a few basic steps, okay, and a few adjustments that you can use. The first one, and very famous, is levels, okay. What you can do, you can go here to the image menu, adjustment, and then select levels, okay. What is the idea of this adjustment? Here you will see this information. This is the histogram, okay. On the histogram, on the right part, okay, on all this area, you will see the light part of the picture, okay, everything that is white or very light. On the left part, you will see the shadows, okay, or everything that is more dark or black part of the picture, and the midtone on the center, okay. If you see on this area, I have more pixels on the shadows, on the midtone, but I don't have a lot on the highlight, maybe a few ones. And you can notice on the image, I don't have a lot of white, maybe the cloud, but even the cloud you can see I have information and looks pretty gray, no very white, okay. How you can work with this one? First, what I recommend you to do is use this slider, okay. On the right slider, you can move near to the part that information starts, okay. The only thing that you have to be careful, sometimes when you start moving too much this, you're gonna lose information on the highlight, okay. How you can see where is the highlight and what is the information that you lose? If you hold on the Option key or the Alt key on a PC, if you start moving here, you will see, oh, that is the lightest part of the picture, okay, that cloud. All right, I'm gonna hold down now the Command or the Control on PC and the space bar at the same time, and I'm gonna zoom on that area. And then if I start moving this, look at what happened. Now all that area is white and you're gonna lose detail, you're gonna lose information. In that case, do not put this one too near to this area because you're gonna lose that detail. That is the only problem, okay? But then what you can do here, I'm gonna press Command 0 to fit the picture on my screen. What you can do here, you can move the center one. I'm gonna move this one more to the left, okay? And here you can see more information, you can recover the detail, okay? I don't recommend you on this picture to move the left one to the right, because in that case it's gonna look more dark, okay? And if you hold on the Option key, you will see the part that you will lose detail. In that case, don't touch that part. I hope that makes sense. Okay, the other adjustment that you can use, I'm gonna click OK on this one, is the curves, but that one I'm gonna show you with the following picture. I'm gonna go back to Adobe Bridge and here I'm gonna open curves. If you use levels and you see levels is not that good, one of the other adjustments that you can use is curves. I'm gonna go there, you're gonna go to the image adjustment and here select curves. And curves is very similar than the adjustment of levels. The only thing here, instead to have an adjustment on the center, you have this line, and in this line you can click here. If you move the curve to the top, you're gonna add more light. To the bottom, you're gonna reduce the light. Okay. But in this case, if I do this, okay, what's gonna happen, you will lose detail on the highlight. This one looks pretty much almost white. What you can do, if you do that with a curve, I can do this. I'm gonna remove this. You can drag outside. I'm gonna increase the light from this area. Why? Because this is the area that I would like to add more light. If you click and start dragging on all this area, you will see all those shadows are concentrated on this area. If you click and then if you move up, you're gonna add luminosity there, but look at how you lose detail on the highlight. What you can do, you can select here the highlight, because if I click on this area, those are the highlights, pixels. And then I'm gonna click and drag down a little bit to recover that part. But be careful, do not overdo this, because if I do something like this, you see, you're gonna start looking, the picture looks a little fake, okay? And be careful with that. try to do not overdo it. Maybe I'm gonna put over there, or maybe a little more here, and then you have a better correction. Okay, I'm gonna click OK here. All right, I'm gonna go to another case like this one. In this case, I have a big problem because the curves and levels are not that good. I'm gonna show you. If I go to levels, if you see this one, I'm gonna move to the left. I'm gonna add light on this guy, but I'm gonna lose all the information on the background. If I move to the right, okay, you're gonna have information on the background, but you know what happened here. Okay, I'm gonna click cancel, and if I use the curves, okay, I have the same problem. I'm gonna start increasing the light here, decreasing the light here. You see, all of a sudden the face looks pretty bad. Okay, it's not my idea. Okay, in that case, what I recommend you to use is this type of picture that you have a lot of contrast. I prefer to use the shadows and highlights. That is another adjustment that you can go here to the image, adjustment, shadows and highlight. The first time that you open shadows and highlight, you will see here the amount of shadows and the highlight, but I recommend you to select show more options, okay, because here you have more adjustment that you can move. All right, what you can do here, first, if you increase the amount here, you're gonna add light on the shadows. You can see the shadows is all this area. Okay? If you move the tone to the left, you will affect the shadows, the darkest shadows. That is the idea. If you move this one to the right, pretty much you will affect the shadows and the mid-tone also. In that case, I'm gonna move this one more down to affect just the part of the jacket and the shadows. Same thing here for the highlight. If you move this one to the right, you can reduce the light on highlight, but here I'm gonna affect the pants and it's not my idea. In that case, move the tone to the left, because in that case you will affect just the white and the highlight on this picture and not the mid-tones. Okay. In addition, here you have a color adjustment, and Photoshop automatically gonna add 20 points of this adjustment. Photoshop gonna saturate the picture, but I prefer to saturate the picture with the hue and saturation. In that case, I'm gonna move down here. And here you have the mid-tone that you can add more contrast to the mid-tone, or you can reduce the contrast. Okay, that happened. Sometime when the shadows and highlight is you apply too much, you're gonna start seeing here on the border a halo or aura on this area. In that case, you can start playing around with the radius, trying to reduce that. Okay, on the edges, on the border, you can reduce that. Okay, and now gonna looks much better. But if you see, this is the before and this is the after. That is a way that you can improve a lot this image. There are more adjustments in Photoshop and other ways that I'm gonna teach you on the following classes. And now I'm gonna focus on another thing. When you start doing the adjustment, before to do any adjustment, I prefer to do white balance. You can do with the white balance with the Camera Raw plugin, but I'm gonna show you how you can do white balance, the basic way to do white balance inside Photoshop. Before you apply levels or before you apply curves, I'm gonna show you how you can do white balance. First, I'm gonna open this picture. Okay, you see the picture looks a little blue, okay, because I took this picture around noon. Here what I can do, I can go to the image adjustment and I can use the color balance. Okay, with this one I can affect the shadows, the highlight, or the mid-tone. In this case I think it's a little blue, and I can move this blue, okay, this slider more to the yellow. All right, I can do the same here if I select the shadows, okay, and I can do the same with the highlight. You see, and you're gonna move all those one more to the yellow. If you think it's not that good, there is another way to do this. I'm gonna click cancel, and if you go inside the adjustment levels, one of the things that you can do, you can use these eyedroppers that you have here. The right one is to indicate the white point, the black one is to indicate the black point or the darker area. And the center one is gonna sample a gray point, a neutral gray point, okay? And what you can do before you start doing adjustment, you can select that, and then you can click in one part of the picture that you know is neutral gray. For example, the ground, the floor. If you click here on this area, click, automatically Photoshop gonna try to adjust all the color. You see, there is two ways that you can do white balance. And now I can start moving. For example, I'm gonna move this one a little to the left. in order to add a little more light. Okay, if you notice there is a few colors that you don't like on the mid-tone, then you can adjust those colors with other adjustment. But that we will talk on the color correction part. This is more about luminosity, okay, these examples. All right, I'm gonna go back. Here I have a picture, this is a PSD, and this is a picture very dark. Here I can apply different adjustment. For example, I'm gonna start with the image adjustment, shadows and highlight, okay? And here, immediately I can add more light on shadows, okay, and works very nice. You don't lose detail on the highlight. I mean, even if you don't have a lot of contrast, when your picture is too dark, you can start with the shadows and highlight, okay? But just be careful, because sometimes the picture looks a little fake, because it's like too much color in one area. In that case, I'm gonna increase this one like this. I'm gonna decrease the amount, all right? And then now I can go, for example, to the levels, all right? And I'm gonna start moving the levels here. Here, maybe you can move this one to where the part on the information start on this area. But look at what happened here. I'm gonna zoom in over this light, okay? And when you do that, you're gonna start losing detail. Can you see what happened? I don't need detail on the lamp, but if you see on this area, also, if you see, for example, here, you can see, if I move to the right, I can see detail there, but as soon as you start moving this one, you're gonna lose that detail. In that case, be careful when you start moving this, okay, to the left. I recommend you to zoom in or zoom out. Take a look if you're gonna lose that information. In that case, in this one, I'm gonna just add a little of light with the levels on the center one, and maybe I can go to curves and I can add a little light on the shadows. Okay, that is a result that is not bad. But you know what? I always prefer to work with the Camera Raw plugin, because it works much better with picture, even if you have JPEG, okay? In this case, if I open this one, which is the version, the Camera Raw version of the same picture, if you know, here I'm gonna start moving the exposure, okay? And when you start adding light on the shadows, on the black, you see the quality of this picture is far away from the JPEG one. I recommend you all the way to take pictures in RAW format instead JPEG, okay? I'm gonna hit done here, all right? And that is the idea, that is the process that you can follow when you do color correction, okay? But now let's talk about colors, all right? That is the second part. I'm gonna go back to this picture, and let's say if you want to change the color of one part of the picture, what you can do here, you can select first that part and then you can change the color. For example, I'm gonna select all this area with my quick selection tool. I'm gonna deselect. I'm holding down the Alt key. I'm gonna select here without the Alt. I'm gonna deselect this area. Okay, and now I can just apply any adjustment. For example, the hue and saturation. I can go to the image, adjustment, hue and saturation. And here I can start moving the hue. If you see, you can change the color. This is pretty cool. All right, and then you can click OK. You can see that is one way that you can do that. All right, but all these adjustments that I apply in all those pictures are destructive. What that means, if you apply any of these adjustments, if I save the changes, if I close the picture, and then if I open again, if you want to go back to the beginning, that is point of no return, okay? Instead to apply all those adjustments from here to the image adjustment, one of the things that you can do, you can create layer adjustment, okay? What is the layer adjustment? It's the adjustment that you have here on the right, okay? You don't have the same adjustment that you have here from the image adjustment. For example, shadows and highlight is here, but it's not part of this adjustment layer, okay? Let me show you what you can do. I'm gonna go back to the picture. First, if you remember, we apply levels here, okay? I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna open my history panel and I'm gonna go back. Instead to apply the adjustment from the image adjustment, I'm gonna apply levels from here. If you click here on this icon on the adjustment layer, click there. Then I have the same panel, okay, that you have when you open the levels panel. And here I'm gonna start moving this one. Okay, just be careful to lose information there. And then I can move this one to the left. Okay, if I go to the following picture, the curves, I can do the same. I'm gonna go back to the original, to the open. And if I go to the adjustment, here just apply the curves. I can increase the luminosity on this area. And then I'm gonna reduce here, okay? Or I can go to the following picture, shadows and highlight. Okay, what is the problem that I have here? If you notice on the adjustment, I don't have shadows and highlight here. But let me show you what you can do. First, select this layer, right click over the layer and convert to a smart object. What is a smart object? It's like an embedded picture inside this picture, but you have the original inside. If I apply now the image adjustment, shadows and highlight, you can apply the same adjustment that you did in the beginning, like this. Okay, maybe I'm gonna reduce it like this one, like this, a little more. Click OK. Okay, but in the future, if you want to remove the adjustment, you can just, okay, turn off this one, okay, on the eyeball that you have there, all right? Or you can just throw it away to the garbage can. You see, that is a very good way to apply adjustment. And now I can apply the other one. For example, on this one, I would like to apply the hue and saturation on that area. First, I'm gonna select with my quick selection tool. I'm gonna remove this part. I'm gonna remove this one also. And now I'm gonna apply the hue and saturation. If you apply now the hue and saturation, look at what happened. I'm gonna move the hue to the right. But all this is on a new layer. You see, you can go back to the original picture. That is the idea. The idea is to work in non-destructive way, because then you can go back. Of course, you have to save this picture as a PSD, not as a JPEG. Because if you want to save as a JPEG, you have to merge all the layers. You're gonna lose the possibility to do editing, okay, on the future. All right, I'm gonna go to the other picture that I have here, okay? If you want to do adjustment of the white balance, you can do the same. I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna go to the adjustment, and here I can apply the curves. All right, I'm gonna select the center eyedropper, and I'm gonna click on this area, and now you have a white balance, okay? Then I'm gonna go to the luminosity, and this one, you know, the only thing when I correct this one, I don't like at all the result. You see, it's not that bad, but you know, it's much better the version that I show you when I apply this one with the camera raw. But there is a solution. Okay, one of the things that I can do, I'm gonna close this picture. I'm gonna go back to bridge. I'm gonna select that picture, and I'm gonna right click on this picture, and I'm gonna open on the Camera Raw plugin. What that means, you can do color correction with the Camera Raw plugin, and works very nice. Here, I'm gonna increase the exposure like this. All right, then I'm gonna add a little of light on shadows, okay, on the blacks. I can see for me, this adjustment works much better than Photoshop. All right, it's up to you. What do you prefer? But I believe this is much better than Photoshop. In addition, if you lose information from here, you can move the white down. You can see the highlight, and then you can recover that information. All right, guys, this is the idea. Try to practice, try to apply all these adjustments in different picture. By the way, if you have a picture that you took with your phone on a very dark day on shadows, okay, that is a picture that is very difficult to adjust. Okay, guys, I hope you like this video. See you on the next one.